Welcome guys to Igor in Russia new episode, and today we're gonna be traveling to St. Petersburg, awesome location. It's called Peterhof, and it's located well near in Leningrad Oblast, across the Gulf of Finland. And this is a remake video from last year, and I'm gonna be remaking this video and commenting on and giving you some good tips about how to travel to St. Petersburg Peterhof. Here is my two good friends joining me. This Meteor Boat. This boat is called Meteor, and we traveled a year ago, last summer, with Yari and Aku, two of my good friends. We decided to go by boat because it's the most exciting way to travel and the fastest way, since it goes straight towards the Peterhof via Gulf of Finland. Other choice is to travel across the city on small buses, marshrutkos or buses, and arriving to other side of Peterhof. But that for another time. I might be commenting on that a bit later. So the ticket costs about 10 euros, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's about 10 euros. That's about, I don't know, 12-13 bucks. And it lasts about 20 minutes. And it's a nice experience. You get to see, you're going to be traveling on the Neva River first and then off to Gulf of Finland. The views are great. Yeah, the boats are pretty nice, even though it was a super hot day. And you can there's at least two locations to start your journey on these Meteor boats. It's both are located on the Neva River, behind the Hermitage Winter Palace. The boat has also some services. You are able to buy some beer, for example, or some beverages. Chill for a minute and see, for example, Zenit's football club, Zenit's stadium, as you can see on the video. And it might, if there's a bad weather, the schedule can be influenced, because they're gonna travel slower, or they might be not traveling at all if it's a very, very windy weather. But in this case, we had a beautiful day. It was super hot. So you're gonna be arriving to a pier like this, and you're gonna be walking towards the Peterhof Park. When arriving on a Meteor boat, you're not able to enter the park for free. If you arrive on the bus, you're gonna be arriving on the other side of the Peterhof, the upper park. And that's the entry to that park is free, but a lot of tourist sites are on this south side to the lower park. So, and it costs you about also 10 euros to enter the park. And when you enter a park, you can spend the whole day out there, and you're not gonna regret it. It's one of the best sites to visit in St. Petersburg. But note, it's such a huge place to visit. It's gonna take a lot of your day just to chill and have a nice time in Peterhof. But it's worth it, definitely. I can recommend you. If you don't know what is Peterhof, I should clear that, because Peterhof Palace, it stands for Peter's Court, and it's a series of different palaces and gardens located on this Leningrad Oblast, St. Petersburg basically. And it was a direct response to Palace of Versailles, to France's Versailles Palace, and so that's why they call it also Russian Versailles. When you enter the St. Peterhof, you pay this entry fee, but note that all of these different palaces, different locations, many of them, not all of them, You have to pay a separate fee to enter them. They're all separate museums. This whole palace complex was built in the 18th century, and it wasn't built simultaneously, so it was expanded. It was built, expanded, continued by then Elizabeth, and up in front ahead of us you can see the place we are heading right now, and it's Grand Cascade and Samson Fountain. Definitely the epicenter of this whole place. It's the center of this whole complex, but also most grandiose site. We're gonna be heading there right now. All of these fountains you're gonna be seeing today in this video are not created by any electricity or anything. It's all created by natural pressurizing on the original technology they used in the 18th century. This is one of the top sites for St. Petersburg, which is a huge tourist city. So prepare for a lot of tourists, and there's a lot of things also in English, but Russia in general usually forgets sometimes to pay attention to English speaking tourists and just writes everything in Russia. So it's good to have a friend or who speaks Russian just a little bit. But no problem with Peterhof. It's all in also in English. So because it's a tourist attraction, everything is super expensive, relatively expensive. Water costs like €3 a bottle, which is like almost, I don't know, $4. And here's this Samson Fountain. It's awesome. It's super awesome. It's just, I don't know, was I able to capture that on camera? But just, I'll let that sink in for a minute. And from Samson's fountain, there's stairs for the Grand Cascade, and there's a just super awesome place for you to have a selfie. Here it is. So you have to decide at this point, are you going to be going to the right side or to the left side, and the whole complex expands to the both sides, and you can find things to see on both destinations. And this is the Grand Palace, which I have never visited myself. Yes, so this is, you're not able to enter without buying a ticket, which we didn't. Petersburg, for example, attracts a lot of Russian tourists. It's a huge country, and people can be traveling days. If we're talking about trains, they can be traveling days to arrive to St. Petersburg, because there's enough to see inside Russia. You don't need to travel around the world to see stuff. So there's a lot of big percentage is Russian tourists. It is mentioned online that this palace is actually it looks huge from if you look at it from the lower garden, for example, but it's quite narrow and not overly large. These fountains, well, this is quite simple but still extraordinary fountain. It is worth mentioning that during the Second World War, the Patriotic War, German troops actually occupied this whole territory. They occupied Peterhof, and it was largely destroyed. There's some pictures we're gonna be seeing soon, which shows you how destroyed it was. They exploited it, they robbed it, and they left burning even, and it was basically just some walls standing left of them. And when the war was won in 1945, 9th of May, the restoration work started on that moment, and it continues even till this day. Truly remarkable. After the war, Peterhof was actually called Petro Dvorets, which means Peter's Palace. And after post-Soviet time in 1997, the government rushed into changed its name back to Peterhof. And when you go further from the center of Peterhof's sites, which you just saw, the palace and the Samson's fountain, it gets a lot more peaceful, less tourists around. But the just awesome park, really nicely cut park continues as long as you have energy to walk. Here are some original pieces of Peterhof destroyed by the German troops. And here's some also very touching pictures of what was left of Peterhof after the war. It's just really excruciating. Here it is, just some walls standing, nothing else. And here's the Gulf of Finland. You can also walk along the shore of Gulf of Finland, and very far over there somewhere you can see St. Petersburg. It's really nice that everything is really in good shape. It's like very European level sites to visit. A lot of people take their wedding pictures there, celebrations. This I think it's the second or third couple to marry while we're filming. If you are able, I'd advise you just to grab some food with you, some water also, because everything is very expensive and limited on site. For example, there was a kiosk earlier. The water bottle, I think it was 0.2 liters, couple of deciliters, cost almost 5 euros, and you can imagine that's a lot in Russia. And it probably won't be enough for the whole day if it's a hot day like it was during this filming. There's a lot of spots for you to take a selfie, take a photos. It's really, really beautiful. Some statues, fountains, anywhere you go. Here you can see elements of Versailles, the labyrinth park. There's a proper labyrinth on the other side where we didn't go to, but you can all basically probably you can get lost there if you're not paying attention. And here's some more fountains. They just continue and continue. There's a lot of different fountains. There's fountains with some very, very nice designs, and it's really beautiful. Needless for me to say, don't drink the water no matter how thirsty you are. Remember, I warned you. In Russia in general, you shouldn't be drinking any tap water. Just bottled water. And here we arrived. We also visited the other side of the park quickly. This is Montplaisir Palace, and it's beautiful, as you can see. And the history says that Peter the Great liked to have fun with his guests, and he made them walk on this spot, activating water. Like there's a person there on the left side, if you can see, which activates the water, just like Peter the Great did. There it is. Really nice. And the Montplaisir Palace is actually also located on the shore of the Gulf of Finland. And here's the view from the Montplaisir Palace's edge. Really amazing. Over there you can see the platform for Meteor Boats. We're heading back on the Meteor Boat. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Remember, please to subscribe, hit that like button. You can also comment, and I make videos every 2 weeks, so please continue supporting and watching my videos. Click that notification button, notification bell, to get a notification as soon as I release a new video. Thanks a lot for joining. This is Igor in Russia. See you next time. Bye.